think I do this work because I'm trying to help fathers have the family that I wanted to have growing up. My father was a very abusive man, so I grew up with a lot of pain, and a lot of anguish. I went through years of drug addiction.
I found myself getting into like a lot of violent activities.
I got arrested. I was in all kinds of trouble.
The way my father interacts with my son, it's amazing. It's like he's doing everything I wish he had done with me.
My father raised me from when I was a baby, and he taught me a whole lot of stuff.
My dad was always present. He hugged me. He would tell me how much he loved me.
He's the reason why I led a straight path.
Most men want to be good dads. They need these groups that we provide sometimes to help them over a bad period or to help them with some supports. And if we can give them the proper supports and encouragements, we can improve their fathering.
Dads make a difference. The question is it going to be positive? Is it going to be negative? So we can no longer take dads off the table and pretend they don't exist. Because if he's not there, we know we've had 30, 40 years of literature to show what that does, right? And we now know if dad's there, what that does, and all the positive things that can come intellectually, cognitively, behavior. All the research is clear when dad is present and functioning in certain ways, that makes a difference. So the choice for providers is, what's it gonna be?
Point well taken.
Right on.
Takes a village.
Takes a village. Yeah.
All right.
I don't think it's hyperbole to say that when we help one individual dad get more connected with his family, we're changing that whole community. So we need to start recruiting dads with the same passion that we recruit moms, because they're super important to kids' lives as well.
If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it and you really want to show it, if you're happy and you know it, clap your hands.
When I'm interacting with Autumn, with Yamara, what I'm giving them is what they're gonna put out into the world. And I don't take it for granted. I haven't had a lot in my life as far as nurturing and loving and stuff like that until now. Like now I really get what love is and what it feels like to be like selfless and to care about the bigger picture versus the now.
This is your glass slipper.
Helping men talk about what's happening in their lives is enormously valuable. It's actually healing.
Well, thank you all so much for coming. If you could tell us your name, maybe how old your baby is.
I'm a first-time dad, 33 years old. I waited, thank God.
Being a dad, it takes a lot of responsibility, being patient.
Dada. It's so cute, man.
That's the reward, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's been the most amazing thing that's ever happened. It's the toughest thing I went through, but it's the most rewarding.
The typical way a man comes for help in fatherhood is that he's kind of sinking. So when dads show up, yeah, they're often nervous and scared and worried, but it comes out as being sort of shut down and feeling angry. But in not being scared off by that, you can get underneath that heavy-duty body armor and realize, yeah, there's a real person in here, and they could use some help.
When I saw the flyer about the Fathers Group, it described in detail that you will be learning parenting skills. I'm open to learning from other people, especially men. Now that I am open to being nurturing, it's the best thing that has ever happened to me.
When I started to do this work, it was not at all unusual for me to get a referral from the big agency that sent us all our cases and have the social worker say, don't bother to work with dad, just work with mom and the kids. Dad's not involved with the family. If we were denying any other cultural group the same access to services, it would be a huge travesty.
I don't think it's intentional that we don't include dads. We've just not been trained or to even think about it. We ignore them when they come in and it's maternal and child health. We ignore them when that child is in the ER and you've got two parents there and that doctor's only talking to mom. Well, that assumes that dad's not giving medication or dad doesn't have questions. In school situations, the same thing happens, especially in families that may not be living together.
At Autumn's preschool, I pretty much been bringing her there since she started. But when there is an issue or a notice or an address to the parent, I'm never recognized. It'll always be addressed to her mom. Can it be like Mr. and Mrs. Tucker?
If you've got the time to reach out to one parent, we're just suggesting it's better for the kids to reach out to both parents. It doesn't take that much longer to say mom and dad, to, kind of look at both parents. Whether you're a doctor or a nurse or in some other professional capacity, to just let both parents be seen and to be heard.
She said that her speech isn't exactly where they feel that, it should be. She's getting there, but she's not as bad as,
But she's not
as
the
we
worst.
thought.
Yeah.
As we thought, I should say.
We thought she was like really behind,
Yeah, that was one of my biggest concerns, is like, oh, well, she's actually doing pretty good.
So she's hearing all these words, words that you guys use every day in and day out, and now she's starting to feel comfortable in saying it and doing it. That's awesome. That's great.
Well, I think the value of having a male home visitor go into a family's home starts long before he goes into the home. It starts with having him as a member of a team. Most home visitors in the country are women. So for the team to even make room for a male home visitor is profound. And then when he gets there, and he's knowledgeable about parenting and about the resources in the community, it just makes it so much easier for the dad in his family to also be involved, because here's a male who's role modeling how to do this.
How do you guys deal with your everyday stressors?
We give each other more value.
The way we even talk to each other is different now. If I feel like we give each other, I guess, more of a chance, in a sense, I guess you could say, she's not as hard on me and I'm not, as crabby to her, because, I don't want to lose any of this, so.
You guys always had the communication with each other when it came to Penelope.
Yeah.
To understand the value of co-parenting and parenting Penelope together it's a great thing.
By inviting him in and including him in the growth and development of this baby that he loves, he wants to stay attached. He wants to come. He wants to learn how to be a dad. And what we've found is that those couples at the end of the program are in a much more stable, healthy co-parenting relationship. This does not cost any money. Get the research, read it, share it with your staff. In a meeting, talk about what is the implication of what we've just read. Do you hire men? Do you listen and have focus groups of men and how they experience as fathers your program?
If we can have photographs of dads and babies together, if we can put up non-gender-based language so that men know that they're welcome as well, because there's only a small percentage of men who are going to know that, let's say, the maternal child health department in the hospital will, kind of welcome fathers, or that the WIC system, women, infant, and children, will also serve fathers. Most men will just look at that and say, it's not for me.
See, we have to change some of the language as well. Why not let's call it families, infant, and children, so fathers also feel welcome. So educating these fathers that these opportunities and availabilities are now starting to come forward. Systems are now starting to look at fathers in another light, and how are we gonna educate both system and fathers to both feel comfortable enough to say, we're here to help, and for fathers to say, to put their pride and guard down and say, hey, listen, I'm a father and I need help.
I'll put the white man.
As a professional, if you can shift a little bit of your time attention from mom and invest it with dad, the dividends down the road are gonna be great.
Moms are great. I love moms. Moms rock. But dads rock too. We're pretty cool.
You ask kids if they wished their dad had been more active in their lives, and they're going to tell you yes. So it's not that single moms can't do it. It's that we can do better if both parents are involved.
It feels for me now, when I succeed, I am also nurturing the child in me that didn't have that. I'm just happy I didn't cow it out and run from this experience, because it is really changing my life in a major, major, major way.